Your Memorial Day is looking hot, that's for sure. But what about stormy?
Well, compared to yesterday, it's going to be a lot better.
Good.
We'll put it that way. We're
All
not
right.
looking at severe weather. We're definitely not looking at tornadic thunderstorms, but it will still be something to keep in mind that there are going to be a few pop-up showers, a few pop-up thunder showers, and then also we have fog out there right now. Now, what you see in Richmond is mainly just low-lying cloud coverage. So if you're on the EKU campus and just so happen to be watching, you're like, it's not foggy out there. This camera is on top of Keene Hall. So obviously it's picking up a lot of those low-lying clouds. But that's not to say that in other spots around the region that the clouds aren't touching the ground. So a little hazardous this morning getting out on the roads if you have to. Let's talk about the showers and storms of yesterday because they were certainly popping. A lot of heavy rain, some lightning strikes, some strong wind gusts, and yes, even one particular cell that started rotating, so the National Weather Service had to go ahead and put a tornado warning into effect. It was this cell right here that crossed from southern Garrett into western Madison County. It basically sat right between Richmond and Berea, at least the strongest of everything. As it crossed into Estill and Lee, it eventually started to break down, but it was still severe at that point. Nothing confirmed as far as a tornado that ever touched down, but I'm sure that they will be investigating it and they will let us know if anything did come of it. Other than that, it was just a lot of heavy rain and thunderstorm activity until we got into the overnight hours, and then it all left. The low eventually moved on. Now we're just basically sitting with a stalled out boundary that will be over us throughout the course of the day today. At the Bluegrass Airport, the highest wind gust recorded 53 miles per hour. Everything else sat between the upper 30s and low 40s. Knott County, though, also coming in at a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. Half of an inch up to 3/4 of an inch in some of the spots that had the most of the rain, or you could have gotten barely anything. Like out towards Louisa, you got 7/100 of an inch, barely even recording anything in McCreary County. But that extra moisture was enough to cause the fog to form and really get dense in a few spots. So until about 9 o'clock, you'll be dealing with that, but also maybe a little bit of drizzle out there as well. Nothing on the max track, nothing expected until we get into the afternoon. The future track really picks up on the heating of the day and the fact that we could see a few of those isolated cells getting going. Once again, this is garden variety. This is not expected to get severe, but a heavy downpour, a few lightning strikes, and maybe a strong wind gust every once in a while. Certainly not out of the question. Tomorrow, we're back to the sunshine and the heat, and you will certainly feel it. You'll feel the heat today, too, 87 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, evening, when keep in mind it's also going to be very humid, so it could be feeling like the 90s when you factor in that heat index. Tomorrow we actually get to 90 for the air temperature, and that's due to abundant sunshine and the southwesterly wind. Still hanging on to the heat by Wednesday, but we also have a better chance for showers and storms to roll in. Now there is a cool down. There is a cold front, and all that cold front will do is drop the summer-like heat down to about normal for this time of the year before we make a slow climb back up into the summer-like territory with those afternoon highs. So your 8-day forecast is going to show that there's a lot of activity, at least in the rain and thunderstorm department, but that's mainly due to a cold front that's going to come through Thursday. It'll do its job, it'll bring the temperatures down, but if you like the heat, that will stick around going into the weekend. More news after the break.